My name is Ahmad, but 5 years ago, my name was Elizabeth, or how people back home called me Lisa. And this is my story of how I became a Muslim. It all started with Surah Al-Sharh, which means the relief or clarification. I was in my first year of architecture. I'm currently working and I graduated 2 years ago. But I was in my first year and we were exploring a variety of mosques across the Middle East. And one of the concepts that I studied back then was how a few people would name their mosques after surahs from the holy book of Quran. And I was curious to see how people linked surahs to actual buildings and architecture. And I came across a couple of mosques that were inspired by surahs like Adiyat and Shar. And I wanted to see the translations and the actual meaning of those architectural pieces. So I did my own research and I found it so fascinating and I loved the meaning so much. So I decided to read a bit more. And in the span of 1 week, I read the entirety of the Quran in English, obviously, but I was so fascinated by every verse. And that's where my story began. I felt quite empty, misguided, and no matter what question I would ask my mother or the people around me in regards to religion, nobody had a definite answer, and that's what bothered me so much. So I feel like my connection with God was non existent. I was Christian by words, but I didn't feel anything towards the religion or towards God at the moment. I'm surrounded by the nicest, kindest people alive, and I like that they all know what religion I follow. They look at me and they're aware of what they can or cannot say to me. But the most important thing I feel like in my life now is that my mother converted after she saw how significantly I've changed. And I feel like that's the best gift God could have given me. And I'm hoping that my brother converts with us as well. Well, the first year after I converted, I didn't tell anyone. I just kept it to myself. Um, I was really afraid of how people were gonna react because my family, they're fully Catholic, and my mother is a widow, so I didn't know how to tell her how to bring it up. But after a year, they saw a significant change in my character and my behavior, and I finally came clean. I told them that I became Muslim and my outlook on life has fully changed. And I mean, the first year of them adapting was quite difficult. They were confused. My family didn't understand how I ended up becoming a Muslim. They asked me if I did it for a man or if there was someone behind the conversion. I told them no, it was my fully conscious, mature decision. But I'm glad I made it. I don't have any regrets. Well, I feel like staying true to yourself, developing discipline, and well, the major change I found in myself is never expecting anything back from people. You do it for yourself. You do it out of your own goodwill, and I just know that God sees everything I do, and that is enough for me. I'll do something nice for somebody, and I'll forget instantly. I'm never gonna hold it against them or keep reminding them of yada yada yada. Like that's just not me anymore.